Welcome back to the Cookbook Challenge. It is the Good Housekeeping Cookbook from 1963. I am on menu number 2. At the front of the book, it has some menu suggestions. Family meals, fall and winter. So I did the Simply Delicious one with the orange pork chops already. Next up is Spanish style. It's chicken and rice. And let's see, it's got the chicken and rice, hard rolls or crackers, celery, pickles, fruitcake a la mode, coffee, milk, and tea are beverage suggestions. I do have some Ritz crackers. I'm not going to make crackers, obviously. Well, I guess it's not obvious, but I'm not going to. And I think there's enough carbs with the rice. We're not going to have rolls or crackers with it. I do have some celery and pickles that I can put on the side. And because it's just the three of us, we don't eat that much dessert stuff. I'm not going to do the fruitcake a la mode this time. And I probably wouldn't anyway, because we're not big fruitcake people. Now there are different versions of fruitcake. I could make a Black Forest cherry cake or something like that. And that would be a fruitcake, right? Not a Christmas fruitcake, but it's a fruitcake nonetheless. Or something with strawberries in it, being that it's pretty close to strawberry season here in Central Florida. Anyway, I'm not going to do dessert. So, we will get started. What do we have to do first? First up is to, in a bag or something, I don't have a paper bag, so I'll put it in a large plastic bowl with a lid. It's supposed to shake the chicken in flour until coated. And then put in the shortening, which you would have in the Dutch oven that is hot and ready to fry. Now you're not going to fry the chicken in the oil. In this case, shortening. You're just going to brown it. Because when you get the rice all in the Dutch oven after you brown the chicken, then you're going to put the chicken on top and it'll finish cooking on top of the rice. Let's see. So, alright, I'm going to get the shortening heated in the Dutch oven and brown up the chicken. I'll be back when I'm done with that. Also, just a note that the chicken I'm using is going to be, I'm just going to use drumsticks. It calls for a 4-pound roaster chicken cut up. So when you cut that up, you'd probably get about 12 pieces out of it. You know, if you cut the breast in half and the 2 pieces of the wing, you should have about 12 pieces. Anyway, I'm just going to use the chicken legs, and it also calls for half a pound of fresh pork sausage links. Let me see, when do you cook that? Saute the onions, drain. See, a couple other things I need. I forgot to get onion yesterday, but I do have dried minced onions, so I'm going to use those. I do not have bouillon cubes. I use the Better Than Bouillon base for that. And again, what do I have to do with the peppers? Let's see, drain fat, onions. I put salt, bouillon cubes. Okay, add the onion, tomato, olives, bouillon, and sausages cut up into 1/2-inch pieces. All right, I have mild Italian sausage meatballs that I made and canned. I'm going to use those. I got 2 half-pint jars. That's pretty close to a pound though, so I'm going to have some extra sausage in there. It only calls for half a pound. Right? Sausage, pimento. Yeah, half a pound of the pork sausage. So I'm going to use 2 jars of those in there. Unless I change my mind, I only use 1. But I'll probably use 2 because it's good. Alright, so on to the cooking. I'll be back when the chicken is browned. As you can see, I'm just combining a bunch of ingredients because they're all going to be combined in the pot when the chicken's browned. So I've got the tomato and liquid, so it's about 2 1/4 cups. I added the salt on top of that, bouillon on top of that, pepper. This is the chopped pimento, which is roasted. Minced onion, there's about a tablespoon there, calls for a large onion. I have half a cup of stuffed green olives. Now in the recipe it calls for 2 small cans of pimentos cut up. I don't know what 2 cans of small pimentos was back in 1963, so I'm going with about a half a cup. And the other was the stuffed olives. It calls for 1 small jar of stuffed olives. So I'm going about a half a cup of those as well. Let's see, the sausage is there. It's mild Italian sausage. That is pre-cooked, so I won't have to worry about the extra fat in the dish. And, oh, that smells good. What else? Oh, and the frozen peas. Those get sprinkled on top as well. And that's it for now. I'm just waiting for the chicken to finish browning. Alright, well I almost screwed that up. I was reading over the instructions again while the chicken's almost done. And the instructions were to drain the tomatoes from the can and then add enough juice or water to the juice from the drained tomatoes to make 2 1/4 cups of liquid, which you're going to need in the pot to cook the rice. So I'm going to strain the tomato. Put this liquid back in the measure cup. Want to waste that delicious tomato juice. Now that is about a cup of liquid. I need to add 1 1/4 cups of water to that to make enough liquid to cook the 2 cups of rice. Obviously this has still got a lot of liquid in it, but boy, I messed that up. The rice never would have cooked in that. So that's 2 cups. And That's about a 1/4 cup. Thank goodness I read the directions again. Okay, as soon as the chicken's done, I'm supposed to take the chicken out, which I already have. I've got 3 pieces left that's browning. And in that, I'm supposed to brown the onion, which of course I can't do because, you know, I have the minced onion. I forgot to buy an onion yesterday. And then to the onion, once that's done, let's see, to the onion add the tomato liquid, the tomatoes, the pimentos and their liquid, the olives and their liquid, which I guess that's too much salt, so if I think I need to, I'll add a little more water, but I'm not adding any more salt to this. It already had me add a tablespoon of salt, plus the salt that's in the pimentos, plus the salt that's in the olives, and the sausage. No, I'm good. Alright. Chicken will be done in a few minutes. Okay, then what? Add the olives. Okay, stir all of that up. Add the rice, the salt, the pepper, the bouillon, which is already all together in this stuff. Mix that up. Add in the sausages. Place the chicken on the top of that. Simmer covered for 30 minutes, lifting the rice occasionally with a fork to prevent sticking, which I don't mind if it does, but I will because of the recipe. Then uncover and add the thawed peas. So I guess I should have the peas out thawing while this is doing its thing. If there is any liquid left in the pan, cook the mixture uncovered for an extra 10 minutes to let the water evaporate. If the mixture seems dry, cook covered. Once you add the peas on top, it should be moist, not soggy. Makes 8 generous servings. Okay. So once the chicken's done, I'm just start putting stuff in the pan. As I was mentioning earlier, the suggestions that come with the menu was either hard rolls or crackers. And when I was at the store a couple days ago, I picked up some plantain chips. So I'll just have a few of those on the side. That'll take the place of the cracker. I need to cut up some celery and get the pickled chips out. See, more salt. My goodness, so much salt in this recipe, or menu even. onion and the tomato liquid. Oh, messy. The oil just splattered everywhere. Okay. So, along with the tomato, there was the salt, the bouillon, and the pepper. Stir that up, get that going. Then you add the pimento. Olives. The rice. Actually, I was supposed to add the rice already. I forgot. Wasn't reading the list correctly. Alright, so the rice is in. Everything's in except for the sausage. Add the sausage now. That looks really good just as is. I'm going to bring that up to a boil and then, I mean, it doesn't say bring it up to a boil, but I'm assuming you would because you want it, I don't know. And it just says place the chicken on top and let it simmer for 30 minutes. So I need to turn the heat down. Place the chicken in. I wonder if I can get all the chicken in there and make sure it's in the liquid. Probably not. I have 14, I think I counted that right, 14 drumsticks. And they're all at least touching the liquid. Cover that and let simmer for 30 minutes. Be back when I need to check that. It says to stir it to make sure the rice doesn't stick, but my husband likes the sticky rice on the bottom, so I probably won't stir it because I normally don't when I make rice. And then check it to see if there's too much liquid or not enough. Either cook some more with the lid off after adding the peas, or cook with the lid on after adding the peas. So, we'll be back in 30 minutes. Let's see how it's going. Looks good. There's a lot of liquid in there though. It's not supposed to be rice soup. We're going to cook it with the lid off for the extra 10 minutes or so. What was I supposed to, oh, sprinkle the peas on top. How are the peas going to cook when they're cold and there's no lid? I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. Put the lid back on for 10 minutes because of the peas. Well, they're not going to cook sitting on top like that. They're not quite thawed. They're still slightly frozen. So, alright, let's turn up. Alright, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the lid askew. And continue cooking for the other 10 minutes. Let's see how that does. Cook off some of that liquid at the bottom. Be back in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, the peas are still cold. A lot of the liquid is gone though. I don't think the chicken's done. I'm going to have to look at one. It might be the red from the tomato juice. I don't think the chicken's done at all. I have to pull all the chicken out and throw it in the oven. It's almost done, but not done. A lot of liquid left in there too. Alright, I'm going to pull the chicken out and throw it in the oven. I cooked most of the fat off the chicken already. Put a little something down so it doesn't stick. Now, let the rice simmer. Cook off the rest of the juice in there. Well, that's a little disappointing. I mean, it said it didn't say cook the chicken until done. It said cook the chicken until browned on all sides, and I did that. And actually some of it I let cook longer because I was afraid this might happen, being that it was only going to be in here sitting on top of the rice for 30 minutes. Alright. That looks really good though. And we'll pop this in the oven for, I don't know how long. Do you want to taste it though? Taste the rice and see how salty and flavorful it is. Looks really good. It's just kind of wet. Yeah, that's really good. Flavor's good. It's not too salty. It's just, I kind of was afraid it would with all that, everything in there. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook with the lid just a little bit on the side for another 10 minutes. I'll pop this in the oven. I've got it at 375. I'll put that in for 25 minutes. That should be plenty of time to get it cooked all the way through. So next time, cook the chicken longer until it's nearly done, and then put it in there. Or, you know, I just assume I like the rice so far. I think maybe I'll just do what I normally do, put the rice in the oven to cook, and I mean the chicken in the oven to cook, and do the rice separate on the stove top like this. I'll do it again. It is tasty, so we'll see. I'll be back when the chicken is done. Let's make sure the chicken's done this time. It's in the oven for 25 minutes at 375. And yes, it is now cooked all the way through. Sweet. Couple pieces of sausage on there. Yeah, the rice is a little butchy, but it still tastes good. And so next time I'll probably do this again because it does taste good, but I'll do the rice separate from the chicken. Just put the chicken in the oven like I normally do it. Much better that way, at least for me. Couple pieces of chicken. The menu had celery, so I'll take a few pieces of celery. It also had pickles on the menu. Just grab a few pickles. Put those down there by the celery. And instead of crackers or hard rolls, we got some plantain chips. I do have some Ritz crackers, but I'll go with the plantain chips. Move that over. And voila, dinner. And rice with sausage, tomato, peas, plantain chips, pickles, and celery. And dessert is whatever. It was the fruitcake a la mode, and I'm not making fruitcake a la mode. At least not tonight.